Welcome back to your practice. We have a sequence for the neck, the shoulders, and really the circumference around the rib cage. All those spots that for me lately are feeling extra tight, just a little stiff, and ugh is the best word. Props you need. Most important is to have a strap or a belt, an actual belt, if you remember wearing those. Remember the last time I wore hard pants or a belt. Beside the point. Some kind of strap, hopefully that you can tie together, tether in some way so it won't slip and slide. And 2 blocks or some combination of bolster, cushion, pillows, blankets. You'll get the idea. Let's get started. So strap, before we get started, actually go ahead and loop the strap if those of you that have the yoga belt that you can tether, just so you don't have to fuss about it later. So just tie it off and then set it off to the side and grab your blocks or whatever combination you're using. And we're going to start in a supported fish or supported back bend. So 1 block's going to go behind the shoulder blades. And I'm putting it on Mama Bear. So baby bear's lowest, Mama Bear, Papa Bear. If back bends are not your jam or you're just feeling extra 10-man-like, then go for baby bear, lowest setting. If you're, I'm good, up to Mama Bear. And then you'll want something secondary for under the head. And for me, for my neck, my back, that one is always a step higher. So whatever's under the shoulders is a little bit lower than what's under my head. And you could use a combination of anything you have around the house. You don't have blocks, that's fine. Grab pillows, cushions, blankets. Just make sure they're nice and firm. And then we're going to lie back till you get that block behind the shoulder blades. And I'm aiming for kind of the lower part, that bottom inferior angle of the shoulder blades. Right on the edge, the bottom edge of the block. And then adjusting what's under your head. Whew. Hello, chest. I couldn't even finish that thought. Adjusting what's under your head so your neck feels neutral. And then, man, today my chest is feeling so tight. So my arms are not even comfortably coming to the ground, or it's taking a moment for them to land. If you feel like it's pulling too much on the shoulders, it feels unstable, just not wise, then maybe come up and flip the block down underneath you or put pillows under the arms. And we won't be here too long, but taking a moment or two just to locate our awareness in our body, take a few breaths to land together, fully registering this moment. I'd take one more breath into the support of the blocks or the cushions. And then gradually reach those arms up towards the ceiling. And imagine there was something up there that you really wanted, like you wanted to tap the ceiling with your fingers. So reach away or protract. And then right arm's going to go underneath the left for eagle arms. And you could bring backs of the hands together or intertwine those palms together. And then push the elbows and the forearms up towards the ceiling. So now you're getting a little width across the back of the shoulder blades. And then gliding the elbows and the forearms up and down. Like you want to pull the elbows down towards the belly button. And then the fingers glide overhead. The jaw is not doing anything. Mine sure is trying. Good. Okay. Unwind those arms. Reach away from you again. Something really desirable up there. And then left arm under the right. Eagle arms on your second side. Lift the elbows away from the chest. And then glide the arms up and down. Good. Okay. Let the arms go. Reach them back up towards the ceiling one more time. And then interlacing the hands behind the head. So just scoop the head up into the hands. If the legs are straight, go ahead and bend the knees, feet to the ground, about hip width apart. You're going to take a breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to lift the head. It's heavy in the hands, but you're lifting up from the navel. And then peeling those shoulders up. And imagine you could lift the shoulder blades all the way off that block. And then slowly lower back down, back into that supported back bend, draping over the blocks, and separate the elbows wide. Okay, inhaling, point the elbows up, and then exhale, curling up. Think about going up versus in. Heavy head, pause at the top for an inhale, and then exhale, slowly lower back down. Separate the elbows. Okay, a few more times like this. Inhale to point the elbows up. Exhale to lift the head, chest, shoulder blades. Inhaling at the top. And then exhale to release. Back to start, elbows wide. And 2 more times like this. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, curling up. Inhale at the top. And exhale, release. Elbows wide. Last time. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, curling up. Remember, you're not tugging on the head. Inhale at the top. And exhale to lower. Right, you can keep going with that. We're going to add a little extra challenge. If you're into the idea of a little more spice, then walk the feet a little further forward. And we're going to start the same way. So you inhale the elbows up. You exhale, lift up. Come up as high as you can. You can stay here just like you did before, inhaling. Or maybe you reach the arms forward and you lift all the way up to a seat and take those arms up towards the ceiling. If you have hands behind the head, you're just pausing where you are, holding. And then we'll all lower back down. So if you came all the way up, you're going to reach those arms forward again and locate that block behind the shoulders. You have to trust that it's there. Hands behind the head. And then exhale back down, elbows wide. All right, 4 more of either variation. I'm going to go through the second variation if you want to work with me. Inhale the elbows up. Exhale, lifting the head, the neck, the chest. Staying here, or if you're continuing on, reach the arms forward. And then exhale, lifting all the way up into a seat, lifting the chest, lifting the arms. But take a breath in and reach up. And then exhale, slow lower. Arms go forward, kind of hollowing out, scooping out the front of the body as you come back down. Shoulders onto the block, hands behind the head, and lower. 2 more. I forgot how many more I said we're going to do. Go faster if you want. Inhale the elbows up. Exhale to lift up. Pausing here or reaching the arms forward. Exhale, continuing on if you're sitting up, reaching those arms, lifting the chest. Exhale, coming back down, scooping out the belly, trying to articulate the spine as you lower. Hands behind the head, and then we'll all exhale down. Last one. Inhale the elbows up. Exhale to lift. Staying for the inhale, or arms forward. Exhale, continuing on into that seat. Lifting up through the spine, pausing for an inhale at the top and reach up. And then exhale, arms forward. Slow lower. Make contact with the block, put the hands back behind the head, and then releasing back down. Good. Release the arms, roll over to a side, or you can come back up to that seat. Move the blocks. We're going to come into a seat on our shins. And that for me means I like a block between the feet or some combination of blocks and pillows. So you might have a couple, hoist yourself up. I'm going to turn to face you and have your strap. Grab your strap. So we're going to start with a very generous hold of the strap, so wider than shoulder width. You're going to bring the arms out in front of you, give a little tug of the strap out to the sides, and then take the strap up towards the ceiling and start to go behind you until you feel, noticeably feel that stretch across the chest, maybe out through the arms. And if, as you're taking the arms overhead, you have to do this weird squirm, wiggle, dance, bend the elbows to get the arms behind you, you need to go wider with the hands. So after a breath in that little sticky spot, bring the strap back up and down. And repeat a few times, trying to isolate this movement or the bulk of the movement in the shoulders and not in the rib cage. So for now, keeping the spine and the ribs quiet. Just trying to move those arms in the shoulder joint. All right, next time you bring the arms down, you're going to choke up on the strap so you're about shoulder width apart, maybe a little narrower. Bring the strap out in front of you, give a little tug, and then take the strap straight up towards the ceiling overhead, and then lean over to your right. And as you lean to the right, really pull down with that right hand, but up with the left. So they're trying to move in opposite directions. Good. And then back up through center. Now the left hand pulls down as you lean to the left, but the right hand's trying to pull you back up right. Good. And then back up to center. And you're going to make circles with the torso. And if you could imagine the circles kind of originating around the rib cage. You know, those high-waisted pants that are in style now. Hopefully they're going to stay in style. I think they're starting to go out. But imagining from above the navel is what's moving. Everything below the navel, more or less, is staying stable. Okay, switch directions, few revolutions the other way. And then once you feel even, put the strap down. We're going to come back to it in just a moment, but you can set it off to the side. And then you don't have to worry about your block. You're just going to slide forward to hands and knees. I want to give the backs of the knees a moment. If it's in your way, of course, move it off to the side. And we're going to slide the right leg back with the toes curled under. And then you're going to spin that right heel in and down for a supported plank. You can keep the left shin where it is, or if you're feeling unbalanced or just wobbly today, you can swivel that left shin, knee, out to the left, 90 degrees or more on the diagonal, and then put your weight over into that left side and take your right arm up. And whatever is touching the ground, instead of feeling like you're sinking into quicksand, lift up and away. And then big sweeping circles with that right arm, like you're playing air guitar. And if it's okay on the neck, you're going to follow the movement of the elbow with the eyes, just loosely. If it's too much on the neck, just keep your gaze where it is. Big circles with that arm. And switch directions. Remember, you're lifting up and out of that left hand, pressing that left shin down into the floor, lifting that right hip up. And then next time that right arm sweeps towards the floor, pivot back to hands and knees, and then come back into a down dog for a moment. And take a wide down dog with the legs. Give a little grip of your fingers on the mat, but arms are lifting away. So the fingers are kind of suctioning to the floor, but the arms are pushing up and back. Good. Then drop those knees back to the ground. We're going to do the second side. So now the left leg slides back. You're going to pivot that heel in and down. You can keep the right shin where it is or swivel it out to the right. Open your chest up towards the left. Take that left arm up. Lift out of the right side of the body. Lift that left hip up. And then find your big circles with that left arm. A little bit of snap, crackle, pop over here. Okay, go the other way. And the next time that left arm sweeps towards the floor, bring the hand down, back to hands and knees, and then back to down dog, just briefly. Grip the mat, lift off of the arms, relax the head between the arms, and then lower the knees back to the floor. And we're going to come back to that seat on our shins with the strap. So we're going to do one more release for the upper traps, those ropey, at least for me, ropey muscles at the top of the shoulders, base of the neck. And you want a pretty generous loop for this. And you're going to put your strap on like Miss America, like a sash. So it's going to go over the right shoulder. And that strap is right at the base of the neck, where the neck and the shoulder kind of meet, where they slope into one another. And then my left hand is going to come down to the end by my left hip. And you want to be able to push down and feel that pull the shoulder. So if the strap is too big, you're not going to be able to have a little resistance, then make it shorter or narrower. If you want to be able to get that arm straight, then you might find that perfect circumference. So as you press down, the arm extends. Okay, again, so you're at the base of the neck, pressing down with the left hand. Let that right arm drop by your side. Lower your chin towards your chest. And then take your left ear to your left shoulder. Pressing down with that left hand. Relaxing the head. And then 3 times we're going to shrug that right shoulder up towards the ear and lower it down. The whole time you're pressing down with that left hand, you shrug that right shoulder up and drop it down. One more time, shrugging the shoulder up and lowering it down. Then keep that right arm heavy by your side. You're going to keep the head tilted to the left, but now you're going to pivot the head so the chin turns a little bit more towards the shoulder. Moving the stretch into the front of the neck. You're in charge of how much you're pressing with that left hand, but just feel the pull. And then last thing on this side, we're going to keep the head towards the left, but now you're going to lift the chin so it's level with the floor. So you're looking out at the horizon over that left shoulder. And then we're going to take the right arm out to the right like you're saying stop, like stop in the name of love. So you press that palm out, you're flexing the wrist, and try to get the arm as straight as you can. Imagine there was a wall that you're pressing that right palm into and pulling the fingers back to the top of the forearm. Might be pretty singy. So if that's the case, you can keep a little bend in the elbow, or you can lower the arm below shoulder height. Good. Keep pressing out through the palm. And one more breath. That left hand's tugging down on the strap. And then lower the arm. Roll your chin back towards your chest. As you let go of that strap under the left hand, arms down by your sides, lift the chin, and then give a little toggle of the head and notice the difference. Whew. For me, it's quite profound. All right, let's do the second side. So sash is going to go over that left shoulder. You've got a little bit down by that right hip so you can hold on with the right hand. Remember, you're right at the base of the neck. You pull down with that right hand. Let the left arm hang by your side. Lower your chin towards your chest. And now right ear to right shoulder. At a moment to land, find the appropriate amount of tugging down on the strap. How far can that ear lower towards the shoulder? And then 3 times with the left arm, you're going to shrug the shoulder up towards the ear and drop the shoulder down. Shrug up towards the ear and lower down. One more time, shrugging the left shoulder up and allowing it to drop. Keep that left arm heavy, right arm pressing down. You're going to keep the head tilted to the right, but now you're going to pivot that chin a little bit more towards the shoulder. Unclench the jaw. And then keep turning to the right with the head, but lift the chin so it's level with the floor. Left arm out to the side, make that stop gesture. Press out through the palm, pull the fingers back towards the top of the forearm. Get that arm as straight as you can today. Maybe the height of the shoulder, maybe a little bit lower, but actively pressing out like there was a wall you were trying to move. Fingers pull back. Face is quiet. And then lower the arm. Take the gas off the pedal with that right hand as you roll your chin back towards your chest. Arms heavy by your sides, lifting the head. Give a little bobble. And then free yourself from your strap and head back to downward facing dog. And you might want blocks towards the front of the mat. We're going to do a little bit of flow just to round everything out now that we've warmed up the spine and the arms and the neck. So we're going to have a couple lunges in the future, so maybe blocks up towards the front of the mat. Remember that little grip of the fingers, but then pressing away with the arms. And we haven't done much, pretty much nothing for the legs. If you want to take a moment to pedal out the feet or swish those hips side to side. And then gradually walking or stepping the feet up towards the front of your mat. Maybe keeping a generous distance between the feet since we haven't really talked to those hamstrings or hips much yet. And then drape the spine, grab opposite elbows, and let your head hang. Imagine the tailbone lifting up and the head descending. And then switch the clasp of the arm, so opposite forearm on top. And now add a little sway, a little tick-tock. And then release the arms and inhale the spine up halfway, light on the fingertips. Shoulders back, maybe coming up a little bit higher so you feel those back muscles engage. And then exhale without pulling, just drape yourself back over the legs. Almost like the spine and the arms are a big elephant trunk. We'll do that again. You'll inhale halfway up, maybe coming up a little higher than you usually do. And then exhale, just soften, melt back into the fold. Good. One more time, inhaling halfway. The nice long space of the spine, strong, stable back. And exhale, fold. All right, inhale all the way up. Arms reach up. Take them out and wide so we stay with this opening of the chest. And then exhale, slide the palms down through the center. We'll do a few half sun salutes. So make sure the legs feel stable underneath you. There's always a moment to have to adjust clothing. And then arms down by your sides, open the palms to the front of the mat, and inhale those arms out and wide up towards the ceiling. And then exhale the arms out and wide as you fold back down. Good. Inhaling halfway, light on the fingertips, maybe coming up enough you feel the back engage. Exhale back into the fold. Inhale to standing, arms wide to the sides as you reach. Exhale, palms together at the center of the chest. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms wide and up. Exhale, arms wide as you fold. And inhale halfway. Exhale the left foot back for a high lunge. So put the weight in the legs, lift the torso up, drop the arms down by your sides. Imagine you're holding heavy dumbbells, and then take them a little bit behind you. And then from here, try to interlace the fingers. Or if you need to grab that strap or hook the thumbs. And then keep the heels of the hands apart. Draw the arms back. And imagine you wanted to split the fingers apart. They're not actually going to separate. And then maybe a little curl of the chest up. Good. And then release the interlace. Take those arms wide and up towards the ceiling. Straighten your front leg. And you're going to come forward and down. So instead of just coming down, think about reaching out like someone is pulling you forward with the arms, with the chest. Eventually, those fingertips frame the right foot, either to ground, or this is a great place for your blocks. And inhale the spine forward as that right hip goes back. Keep that right big toe grounded. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Just drape the spine. Good. And then inhaling into a little bit of a lunge, just to slacken that hamstring. If you have hands on blocks, you'll move them off to the sides and pull back to a downward facing dog. Feel that little grip of the fingers on the mat. Inhale forward towards plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Keep the toes curled under and press back into an extended child's pose. And inhale forward to a supported plank on your knees. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the elbows, lower the thighs and the hips towards the floor for cobra. Roll the shoulders back. Press those palms down and apart. Keep the collarbones wide. And then lifting back through tabletop and returning to downward facing dog. Take a breath in your dog. Exhale that left foot forward for your high lunge. Press down through the feet, lift the torso. Arms down by your sides. Grab hold of those imaginary dumbbells. So the shoulders drop down, and then draw the arms back a little bit. And then from here, shoulders down and back, try to interlace, but go the awkward way, which means slide each finger down one. Again, keep the heels of the hands apart. Draw the knuckles down. Maybe start to lift them away from the body, and then feel like you want to separate the fingers. Let that ripple up through the chest, maybe up through the gaze. And then release the fingers. Sweep the arms out and up. Then you'll straighten that left leg. Remember, you're going forward and down. Forward, 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 forward as that left hip tacks back. Eventually, fingertips find something. Inhale the spine forward. Exhale, fold. And inhale, put a little bend in the knee. Press off the back foot, step forward, and fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale all the way up, arms to the sides as you reach up. Exhale, hands through center. Okay, slight variation for the second side. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, folding over your two legs. And inhale halfway. Exhale, right foot back. Spin the heel down for warrior one this time. And then lift the torso up. You're going to take the arms out wide to the sides. And then you're going to wrap your right arm underneath the left for your eagle arms. So backs of the hands or palms. And then lift the elbows up to the height of the shoulders. Move the hands away from the face. And then just feel a little steering of that left hip back. Don't have to push that right hip forward. You want the hip, the knee, the toes to stay in the same direction. And maybe come a little lower in the front leg if it's available. And then release the arms out and up. You're going to straighten that left leg. And keep that back heel grounded, or you can lift it up and come forward and down. Fingertips to something. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Good. Inhale through a shallow lunge. So pick that back heel up if it's not already. Bend the front knee. And then plant the palms back to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Pull back to extended child's pose. Inhale forward to that supported plank on your knees. Exhale as you bend the elbows, lower the thighs, lower the hips. Pull the chest up and through the arms. So the heels of the hands are pulling back slightly. Those fingertip pads are suctioning to the mat. And then back up through tabletop and return to downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath in your dog pose. Exhale the right foot forward for warrior one or high lunge if you prefer. Ground down through the legs, lift the torso, stretch the arms wide like you're about to give someone a big hug. And then left arm under the right for eagle arms. Lift the elbows, move the hands away from the face. Feel that right hip just subtly pull back. And then inhale the arms up. Pull that right hip back. Reach forward and down. Inhale the spine long. Exhale, fold. And inhale into a shallow lunge. So just a little bend of the front knee. Pick the back heel up. And then step forward and fold over your legs. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands through center. All right, we have one more lunge. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, left foot back, left knee down this time. So if you need to pad up the knees, grab a little extra support. You're going to lift your hands onto the front thigh and start with a really deep lunge. Just go as far forward as you can. That's how we used to teach low lunge. And then lift up and back a little bit. Imagine you were putting on a pair of pants that were just a little too tight. So you kind of zip up. And then see if you can keep some of that containment, but then go forward again towards that lower lunge without losing some of that control or some of that lift. And then right hand will stay where it is. Inhale the left arm up and then add a little side bend over to the right. Good. And remember those circles we took with the torso? So you're going to turn your chest down towards that right leg and bring that left upper arm as low as you can outside the right knee. And then right palm onto the left. Now you can keep the back knee grounded, especially if you're feeling like you need more stability. Or if you want to lift the knee, we're going to curl the toes. But when you lift the knee, think about straightening the leg, but keeping the hips low. So could you keep the hips where they are and press that left heel back as the knee lifts? And then press the right palm down into the left. Maybe you can turn slightly more. Good. And then can legs stay where they are? You de-rotate, fingertips to the ground, pull that right hip back, and a breath to fold over the leg. Left foot steps forward, right foot steps back, right knee to the ground. Hands onto the front thigh. Start with that deeper expression of the lunge. I had to drop my shoulders there. And then lift up a little bit. Find that zipping up. And then can you keep the pelvic floor lifting, the front of the pelvis lifting? And maybe you go a little bit more back into that lunge. Left hand stays where it is. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, lean to the left. Opening that iliopsoas complex. Okay, we're going to turn the chest towards that left thigh, kind of round the back, and then get as much of that upper right arm as you can outside the left knee. And then left palm into the right hand. Press that left hand down and turn. You can keep the right knee down, or if you're going to lift the knee, remember, keep the hips low. Start to press that heel back as you straighten the leg. Maybe turn a little bit more. Good. So you can keep the legs where they are. Just unwind the chest, fingertips to the ground. Straighten that left leg one more time. Pull the hips back, folding. And then drawing back into a down dog. One more time through that flow. You'll inhale forward to plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Extended child's pose. Inhale forward to supported plank on the knees. Exhale, bend the elbows as you lower the thighs, the hips, shoulders back. And then back to one last downward facing dog. Give that little grip of the mat with the fingers, press off with the hands. Now that the legs are a little more open, really feel the thighs move back. Good. And then drop the knees and come down onto your back. And actually, since we're using a strap, let's use the strap. That seemed like a no-brainer thing to say. But since we have the strap out, we're going to use it in our back bend. So feet on the ground, knees bent. You're going to lift your hips, slide the strap underneath you, and then you can put the hips back down. And actually, it's a little forward of my hips. So my hands are holding the strap, but I'm going to turn my palms up towards the ceiling, and I'm pulling out on that strap. So my inner biceps roll up towards the ceiling, or those outer shoulders roll down. So don't worry about where the legs are positioned. If you want a wider width for the legs to make the low back happy, that's fine. We're focusing more on the chest today. So give a little tug out with the arms, roll those shoulders down, and then press down through your feet and lift the hips. And I don't care how high your hips go, but keep focusing on pulling that strap apart, trying to roll the biceps up towards the ceiling. Maybe you feel as those outer shoulders press down, that upper chest can lift and broaden. And make sure you're not flattening the neck. I think for some of us, we need to lift the chin. It's not true for everyone. Finding a balance between the two. Keep pulling out on that strap. Lift those inner biceps up. Shoulders down. Imagine the shoulders were 2 extra feet as you press them into the floor. Good. And let it all go. Relax the grip on the strap. Lower the legs down. You move that strap off to the side. And we're going to end with a twist, but we're going to do it a little different today. So you're going to roll over onto your right side. So all the way onto your right side, and you're going to try to, best you can, line yourself up. So your shoulder, your ear, and your hip are all in the same plane, and that right arm's reaching out in front of you. And then rest your left hand into your right, head down on the ground, And then you're going to reach beyond that right hand, like something that you really want is out there, like your phone. It's always the phone these days. So you're reaching out, and then keep reaching out as you lift that left arm up towards the ceiling and roll the chest open. I'm going to have to fight with the fiddly figs over here. Eventually, that left arm might find the ground, maybe not. And if you need to, you feel like you're kind of crammed on that right shoulder blade, you might reach the right arm out just a little bit. Relax the head, the neck. Close the eyes. Let things slow down. And one more breath. And then to come out, you're going to bend the left elbow and bring that hand somewhere to the left side of the chest. And then slide the left hand along the chest, along that right arm. Roll back onto your right side. And then from here, you'll turn over. I'm going to flip around so my back's not to you. And come onto your left side, doing your best to line up your left ear, left shoulder, left hip. Right palm resting in the left hand. Then you're going to reach a little bit beyond the hand. And you're going to keep reaching away as you lift the arm up and back. Falling into that twist. Maybe if you feel like a little jammed, you can slide that left arm out to the left. Close the eyes. Welcome the breath. Your last breath in the twist. And then bending the right elbow, bring the hand just around the chest, the shoulder, and then slide the hand along the chest, out along that left arm. And then turning over onto your back. Hug your knees in, find neutral. You circle the legs around or rock a little side to side. And then we have 2 minutes to close our practice. So you could slide the legs out, arms out, take a shavasana. You could come up to a seated meditation. If you want to take longer than 2 minutes for your shavasana, then take some time to gather those cozy things, socks, sweaters, whatever you need. Don't have to worry about time. I'll keep track. And I'm going to be quiet. So if you don't hear from me, it doesn't mean that your internet went out or computer died. Just letting yourself soak up all the movement, the cues, the words, the information. And now resting in a little bit of a quiet space. If you're wanting to stay longer, not worrying at all about me, just exactly what you need, the amount of time to stay resting. Those of you that set aside just this class time, start to take in the sounds, the sensation of the room, for relocating yourself to this day and time. A few slow, thoughtful breaths. And then adding to it when you're ready, some movement. Arms, the jaw, feet, the toes. Lifting yourself up to a comfortable seat. And thank you. Till I see you again. Be well.